All right, let's get this stuff kicked off. How are you guys all doing tonight? Sorry about the delay, being called a late sell and all that wonderful stuff. Um, was making sure that I got you guys the highest quality content. I'm just a little behind, a little behind. I'm sorry, but I hope you guys are all having a good night. Let me make sure that our overlay is all good to go, and then we should be able to get right into it. Okay, well, sure. A little slow, maybe. Is that a better term that you'd like to use? Let's see. Let's see. Let me get all this stuff moved around real quick. Sorry that I'm not the most prepared. I do need a second monitor for surely, but until then, we will just roll with it. Now, a lot of these stories are kind of unrelated to each other, besides them all being pretty fresh. So, that should be exciting, all right? Maybe. Did you guys like the raise your volume? That is maxed out, my boy. I don't know if there's another way to fix it. Is that better or is that worse or is that the same? Or do I need to talk up more? It's better and the same. Well, that just made no sense. You mean better? Are we just talking cryptically? Are we good? Because, like, my stuff is, like, maxed out. Okay, actually, hold on. I think there's a way I can fix this. What if I do this? Is that better or worse? I think it's when you lean back. My mic is in my esophagus. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see. Let's get this figured out real quick, and then we'll get right into it. Let's see. No, that's the wrong one. How about that one? That one. Okay, the other one's not wanting to work. That's cool. That is awesome. Why is it not working? What the heck is going on here? I can hear you great. Okay. I did turn it down a little bit because I didn't realize that you could mute whatchamacallit. I didn't realize that you could mute it. What is going on? Why is it not letting me pick the other tab? That is hurting my brain. What the heck? I'll just keep it here. I'll just keep it right here. I guess I'll just have to load the stories the other way. Unless... Okay. That is not cool. Not cool. Thank you for that, OBS. Okay. Without further ado, we should be able to get right into it. I think we have everything all loaded up. All the audio good on your guys' end? I'm about to start ripping my hair out. Sorry to confuse you guys for the wrong thumbnail as well, but we should be good to go. Anything fun in the news world or whatever other stuff is going on? Or am I the one with the fresh scoop and you guys are only I'm allowed to inform you guys? All right. Good talk, guys. Good talk. Well, in other words, I guess we'll just go in order of the way that I threw these around. There is, according to the headline, insane video of Boston news anchor appears to swallow a large fly live on air. Let's get rid of all this other reedy, wordy stuff, and we'll just hop right into the video. A Webster family who lost a loved one has been pushing for the change. Anchor and investigators. I mean, as far as I know, oh, that that's like on her face like that entire video. I mean, that kind of did look like a swallow. Like at first I was like, oh, the images can't be, that bad. And I mean, I think if we follow the trajectory of the fly, maybe I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt of the momentum of the thing to go past her mouth and her chin, but it looked like a grab, and it kind of looked like a swallow, and the jokes kind of write themselves about lizard people being in the news. So appears to involuntarily wince. I mean, I guess I could just look up like footage of a chameleon eating something and just putting them side by side, and you guys then being the judge for yourself about that. But that is a. Did they at least get a comment from the news anchor saying if she did or didn't eat the fly, or a large clump of eyelashes? Now let's just. I don't know if I can watch this in slow motion. I mean, it kind of could look like her eyelashes are falling apart. But there's like that one, that like one frame right there. Because at first I didn't notice it because of how much makeup she has on, but then I did, and it was kind of. It's so gross. Regardless of how many times I watch this thing, it's kind of brutal every single time. Now I do hope that they. This is professionalism right here, wrote one Instagram user, while another commented, "Nah, she needs a raise. She didn't even bat an eye." Well, she sort of did. Well, that was so funny. Another user wrote, "I've never seen that level of professionalism." Damn, wrote another shared. Well, while another shared, "My natural instinct would have kicked it straight away, and I would have been a screaming wreck, flipping tables and spitting that damn thing out of my mouth." That's a natural instinct to have. That sounds deranged. Could just be me, though. Yeah, I do love people saying that it's an eyelash. I don't know. Did they fall out in clusters? Brutal. That's pretty brutal. All right. Well, that's some gross cringe for you guys to enjoy. I let me move this for the end, like dessert, one might say. In slightly more serious news, I don't know why this is playing. And in a little more serious news, I hope you guys have a good way to get a hold of eggs. I don't know how big of a market Iowa has for eggs, but farmers have to kill 4.2 million chickens after bird flu hits Iowa egg farm. That's a lot of birds. I mean, I don't know how many are in Iowa specifically, but well, I mean, some fake lashes are little pieces that just stick at the end. Yeah, but don't those look really tacky and kind of weird? I mean, I would think if I was a news anchor, I would try and get them like professionally done so that it was like one big piece and they're like glued in and they only come out like once a month or every 2 weeks or whatever the time frame of those are. But I mean, to have like such a little clump fall out and then for her to like react to like it hitting her face and then swallowing it. I mean, it kind of looks like a fly. Yeah. Kind of looks like a fly, which is brutal. But um, the the thing underneath it is just repeating the title. Uh-oh. More than 4 million chickens in Iowa will have to be killed after a case of highly pathogenic bird flu was detected at a large egg farm, the state announced Tuesday. Crews are in progress of killing 4.2 million chickens after the disease was found at a farm in Silix County, Iowa, making it the latest of a year-long outbreak that now is affecting dairy cattle as well last week. The virus was confirmed at an egg farm west of Minneapolis, Minnesota, leading to the slaughter of nearly 1.4 million chickens. Now, is that the am I doing okay? Yeah, I was just yawning. Um unless you're reading it, unless you're hearing me read and it sounds like I'm having a stroke, then maybe not, but what was I saying? Oh, just does it was it the virus that killed 4.1 million chickens and now they're just having to euthanize the rest? I mean, yeah, it's a war on chickens, and we've had 92 million of them be killed since the outbreak, which makes me wonder kind of how that even like starts or happens. Because it's like, well, you got got a lot of factors to consider about this kind of stuff, but not great. Regardless, I'm trying to see if there's anything else kind of interesting in this article to share with you guys. I think dairy being affected by bird flu too is not great. I'm sure it doesn't make milk taste that great. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to just be like as reliant as possible. Obviously, chickens are quite a chore, and they're not cheap. I don't know if they ever actually pay for themselves. I don't know. Maybe they bring the cow to like an animal hospital or something, and they give them some ibuprofen and tell them to take 2 weeks off of work. But I just know with the chickens, at least, it sounds like they're kind of doomed, and it sounds like they eventually die. So they do everything they can to mitigate it, but obviously they can't give a million to chickens little masks to keep each other, especially keep each other socially distanced. But um, sorry, I was just reading these three things, and this is funny. Um, yeah, no, I was just joking. AC, damn. All right, this is a joke. I mean, chickens are cheap, but you still have to like raise a whole new batch of them because it takes about like 6 to 8 months for them to be egg laying again. Yeah, I'm sure that they want to get rid of them. I mean, it comes from a place of like teaching us self reliance. What are you noping, AC? Be specific. We do not allow vagueness in our chats. You got this, man. You got this. Spit it out. Well, I was gonna continue a point about it doesn't hurt to just be self reliant outside of these like big mass farms because I think it's more for people that are or that don't even know that chickens come from or that eggs come from farms and they don't just come from the grocery store. Like the employees and like maybe I don't know, maybe that's why they think that grocery store workers should be paid more because they think that they make all the food in the back and they just come from like frozen bags and they're just like, oh yeah, and the eggs come from grocery store workers too. They sit there and they lay them from Tyson. Mike Tyson. I don't know what his chickens taste like. I thought he was a pigeon kind of guy. Well, anyway, that's about all I can cover on this. I mean, this isn't more to be like, oh, that's the end of the world, but it's definitely like, well, this is Definitely gonna affect egg prices to some degree. I'm not sure where. Again, I don't know the numbers. It wouldn't hurt to get this information from a good old Google search, but I'm sure to some degree this is just more proof of like, yep, more reason that these prices are going up because now obviously it's a business, and to get rid of those kind of birds, I doubt the state's gonna come in and just be like, oh yeah, we'll pay for it all. So somebody's got to pay for it eventually. Um, in in other news, Hunter Biden is wanting to sue Fox News for calling him a quote unquote. This is what Fox News called him, a degenerate crackhead. In his memoir released in 2021, Hunter Biden referred to himself as a crack addict, a crack daddy, and a crackhead. Um, Hunter Biden is preparing to sue Fox News for defamation, alleging that the network exploited his drug addiction to dehumanize him and damage his father's reputation. Oh wow, 9.4, 9.2 million chickens. Wait, no, that's not right. Oh, billion. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, 4%. I mean, yeah, that's not a great number, especially since I was from one farm. One farm had almost 5% of all chickens in the United States. That's a lot of chickens. I didn't realize we had that many. But yeah, no, that's a big number. It's it's kind of yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'll be kind of be a big deal. I mean, I'm sure hopefully they have I mean, you can't. Well, the way that we treat eggs as well is that we wash them right away. So the shelf life of eggs is like barely a month. So it's not even like we have like a stockpile of eggs. I don't know why we don't do that with some things, at least. Because it's like we have like you can get like fried or not fried, excuse me, dried egg whites, and you can get like evaporated milk, and there's a lot of other resources that you can get that are um like have a way longer shelf life than just getting stuff from the grocery store and it going bad in like 2 weeks. So obviously, you usually can't find these things at like your local grocery stores because they're more expensive. Costco thankfully has a lot of this stuff. I don't know about the dehydrated egg whites, but at least it's something, and they tend to have a pretty long shelf life. I mean, I know that there's a lot of these. Well, I mean, it kind of cracks me up sometimes to see a lot of these. Some of these big YouTubers get recommended the like the survival like bucket in a meal kind of things that they don't go bad for like 25 years or whatever. I would highly recommend people get like MREs or like other stuff like that. Because it's just at least in terms of like flavor, they're not that bad. I just can't imagine like a bucket of powder and claiming that it's like macaroni and cheese can be that good. Obviously, I'm talking a little bit out my butt here, but I feel like that there's definitely like better alternatives. A freeze dryer, dehydrator, those are all good. Um, I think even like vacuum sealing probably isn't like the worst idea ever. Long term, like super long term stuff. The only way to properly do that would just be, I mean, Raisin mentioned earlier a guy named Ice Age Farmer, but I'm sure if you look at that guy's channel, assuming he has one and it's not like a blog or whatever, he probably talks about a lot of like going back to like basics, even like animal trapping and all that stuff too. Yeah, and also things that have a really high shelf life also tend to have a lot of sodium in them, and sodium's not the best for you either. I was looking the other day at some pasta sauces that I have in my cabinet, and they don't go bad for like 2 years. And then I was like, wow, I didn't realize they last that long. And then I looked how much sodium was in them, and then I was kind of blown away about it. So that's another thing too. I mean, I think we used to rub meat and or salt over meat, and then just letting it like dry out that way too. So yeah, I mean, it's all about like effort and all that stuff too. So and then obviously there's people that are like, no, 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 the world will be fine. We've gone through worse. We've gone through worse. But I mean, you got the head in the sand people, and then you got The people that are just trying to live day to day. Obviously, there's some people that like can't afford some of these like machines and all that too. It wouldn't hurt to at least have some preparation so that you're not just with your pants down immediately. Wow, zombie they're probably good for another 5 years. I don't know why you just threw them out like that. Yeah, I mean, preparedness. It's both kind of like there's simple things that you can start doing, and then there's definitely like way more complicated stuff that you can do. Um, I don't know if I ever like do like a full on dedicated stream talking about a lot of that stuff, but it wouldn't hurt to, especially if you guys haven't already. Ammunition, food, some way to reproduce that food, whatever that may be. Yeah, I mean that's not a bad way. Just definitely the risk assessment isn't that great either because you can just yeah, yeah, not having food in your system, not having water and all that. I mean, it just makes you wonder like how we survived. I don't know if our like stomachs got smaller or what, because it just seems like I'm just thinking like back to like the medieval times and all that, to where it's just like were people just like always like starving and miserable and all that, and then one day we just invented like the high calorie food, and then we're just like, oh yeah, yippee, we're all saved. It's like I don't know. It just seems like if our bodies are the way they are now, and if they've always kind of been like that, it just would have been like a very miserable time. It's like why can't we be like snakes? Just eat like one big meal like a week and then be fine. But anywho, just thinking back to reading this. Oh, AC, you're funny. I don't even know what you mean by that, like in that context. And you're the reason that I don't. I AC, you're the reason that I don't put chat up on stream. I hope you know that. That sounds so miserable. Hunter's lawyer sent a letter to Fox News several weeks ago threatening legal action for allegedly collaborating with Trump's operatives and pro Russia nationals to defame him for profit. The letter demanded retractions and corrections and on-air apologies from the network. Hunter Biden's attorneys told the Daily Beast they plan to file the lawsuit, quote unquote, shortly. Hunter Biden also expressed his frustrations in an interview with the outlet, stating, I am not saying my addiction is an excuse for my bad behavior. What I'm saying is that my addiction is not an excuse for them to dehumanize me. And in doing so, dehumanize everybody from the addict that you pass it on pass it on the street. Sorry, this is what the article says. To the one that you live with. That is the principal motivating factor, he added, mimicking Fox News personalities. Addict, 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 crack addict. He's a crack addict, smoking crack addict. In a response to the potential lawsuit, a spokesperson for Fox News cited the company's statement about constitutionally protected coverage regarding a public figure who has been the subject of investigations by both the Department of Justice and Congress, has been indicted by two different U.S. attorneys' offices in California and Delaware, and has admitted to multiple incidences incidents of wrongdoing. I feel like that was kind of wordy, but consistent with the First Amendment, Fox News has I cannot read accurately covered these highly politicized events. Nope, that says publicized events, as well as the subsequent indictment of an FBI informant who has the source of a certain claims made about Mr. Biden's statement said. I mean, we can keep going, but I mean, it is funny that I mean, it says right here that it was seen as like hypocritical because he referred to himself, I think, as even worse things. I don't even know what a crack daddy actually means, but that sounds bad. So, whatever you say, the one thing that nobody ever accused my dad of was getting rich off of being a United States Senator, the Biden son said. And so, what's the one thing that you need to do? You need to completely dehumanize me. And the easiest way to do that is to show me to be this degenerate crack addict. That sentence was brutal to read. Anyway, I mean, I think I've heard people make claims that Hunter Biden's dad has made money off of being a United States senator. All of them have, to be fair. I don't think there's a single one, or I mean, generalizing here, but almost all the senators have definitely had some motives. So that was cute. It was fun. You guys got anything to add of good old crack daddy, Mr. Biden? No, just buckling in. Well, we're gonna watch. This is the headline here. Watch Joe Biden's brain break. What is going on with these double S's? Joe Biden's brain breaks during Philly rally held in the corner of school gym. Here it is. There's also jokes about this being the largest rally ever for Joe Biden.
We'll never forget lying around and him lying around, actually.
I wish we had more of that. That'd have been great. I don't know if this one's on.
Promised we'd start to reconnect black and brown and overlooked neighborhoods cut off by highways in the 60s and decades of disinvestment as a consequence of it, including here in Philly. Well, we're changed that with the Recovery Act. Right now, you see all the construction going on the highways around here.
I mean, this is just more proof that he is the most qualified to be in his position. Was George Bush that bad? I was a very, very young lad whenever Bush Jr. was in office. So I do not remember him very much. I just remember I think he was the one to throw up on the Japanese ambassador and yeah, maybe we'll pull that up for good time's sake. Let me actually take a look at that. Why not bring that up?
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
I think what Joe Biden did was far worse than George Bush. I mean, I think also, yeah, no, I mean, both were brutal, but one seemed from a place of not wanting to mess it up, and then the other came from a place of I don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, you know, if we want, we can do like an entire stream breaking down his State of the Union address. Like that one is like pure torture. Like rip my ears and eyes out. I don't ever want to have the capability to replicate the pain again from what I just witnessed. And like I said, the George Bush one was not great, but at the same time, that Joe Biden one I think was even worse. I mean, you have a 9-minute clip and a 20-minute or 20-second clip, and that 9-second one is it's brutal, brutal. I think all this is talking more about it, but kind of a little bit of a piggyback off of that. We have Jill Biden, Dr. Jill Biden, I do believe actually, that she has made a silly prediction according to this headline. My husband, you're going to see how smart he is, and then you'll see somebody who can't put a sentence together. I mean, whoever wrote that can't put a sentence together. But we have the view right here, hopefully.
Well, Dr. Biden, the first presidential debate is less than a month away, and we've debated at this table. There have been people that have thought President Biden shouldn't even debate President Trump just due to the fact that Donald Trump will gaslight, he overtalks, yes. There are no guardrails. So he stalks. Yeah, well, I happen to believe it's really important, more than ever, to have a debate with guardrails. What is the strategy that the president has going into this? Any tips you'd have for a debate that we could pull off where we could actually hear our candidates?
No, they've built that in where they're going to turn off those mics so that somebody can't ramble or scream at somebody. Not that my husband would be the one doing that. No. And so that's already been negotiated. And, I think the American people deserve a debate because you need to see your choices. You need to see Trump, and you need to see the president, and you need to see the differences. And my husband's, and you're going to see how smart he is and the experience he has. And then you'll see somebody who, like you're saying, I'm going to use Joy's words, can't put a sentence together, and everything is beautiful, and it's wonderful.
Tremendous.
Big league. Yeah, tremendous. Yeah. So I think the American people deserve to see the two men who are running for this office, because your choice is going to be clear.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I watch a little bit of Tim Pool every now and then, and he just did a pre-recorded episode with a guy named Cash, can't remember his last name, and then he did a 17-minute segment with Donald Trump. And there was not one part of that interview between Tim and Trump that it felt like, oh wow, this guy's a complete idiot and can't put any words together. And obviously there's been some gaffes about Trump, misspeaking and all that. But like once you're, I mean, he was a TV host for many years. He obviously was the president for 4, and like there's been plenty of stuff out there, of course, of Trump having gaffes as well, but not nearly as bad as Trump or as Biden. I'm about to have my own gaffe here, honestly. It's just one of those things that's just like, okay, are we living in cuckoo bizarre land right now? Because this is ridiculous. That's how I see it. I mean, I've talked about it a couple times on the show already that one of the points of the show is to almost create a record of things to where it's like, yes, use this chunk of the show to just show that there are people that are saying these things. These things are happening. They're not just anecdotes. They're not just one-off things or whatever. Like, these things are currently happening, and for us to just like ignore it or whatever, it's like no, we have like a pile of evidence of people saying these things. Now people are claiming that Trump can't put his words together. And I would love to see a clip of all the times that Trump has slurred his words together. And I mean, even if we just go back like 6 months and like see the difference. Like why has she shouldn't even be calling. What do you mean? Oh. I read that already. What was I gonna say? Oh, just I'd love to see the contrast. I mean, there's a reason that Biden wouldn't even go on any press conferences or tours or whatever, and he always picked people to like save his face while he was in office and doing things that just weren't making any sense, or said things that didn't make any sense. It was either a joke or he misspoke or he did this or he did that, and then the media was then also covering for it, and it was just a whole circular mess. So I don't know. I don't get it. I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir a little bit about some of the stuff, but we've talked a little bit about a lot of the Palestinian stuff going on, and we might look a little bit into what the protesters are getting up to this week. But one of the things I do want to talk about is the recognition of Palestinian statehood no longer being taboo for the EU, not the UN, not I'm trying to think of other. I think the UN is kind of the biggest one, anyways, but some other ones. But it's like, oh yeah, we really, really care about what the EU has to say about Palestine. Are they gonna make Palestine a European nation? Do you think Palestine is gonna be the best European nation? I think that would be funny. Like who cares what the Dutch have to say about what's going on in Palestine? I think that's funny. I think it's very funny. Let me see if there's anything to actually kind of read to this. A European diplomat told Haaretz in an interview released on the 29th of May that multiple EU member states are considering recognizing a Palestinian state, following the 3 European countries that formalized their recognition on Tuesday. Dutch diplomat and special representative Sven Koopmans? Sorry, I don't speak Dutch. Told the Israeli Daily that these decisions are made by states independently and are not controlled by the EU as a whole. That's funny. He notes that these decisions, however, play a kind of domino effect in a more global challenge against Israel. Well, yeah, kind of shows what your guys' alliances are and what message you guys want to send. There are a few member states that are looking at this very closely and are likely to take a step soon, Koopmans says. He emphasized that he cannot speak on behalf of specific states and only the bloc as a whole. Are they referred to as states under the EU? I thought they were countries. That's kind of weird. I mean, whenever I think of states, I think of the United States, but I know these are little bitty nations doing their own things. He also noted that the Israeli Daily that the subject of recognizing a Palestinian state was no longer taboo, quote unquote, for European governments. This is due to Tel Aviv's actions in its war on Gaza, as well as comments by senior Israeli officials against a 2-state solution and in favor of eliminating the Palestinian Authority. The Dutch diplomat said Europe was very alarmed, quote unquote, by statements and actions the Israeli government has taken, noting that Tel Aviv's continued push into Rafah went against the orders made by the International Court of Justice to limit the aggression on the southern Gaza city. I didn't even know we had an International Court of Justice. So the more we learn, I guess. I don't even know what authority that holds, if it even has any. I thought like the UN or NATO or some of these other groups would have gotten together already and done some stuff, but hey, what do I know? What do I know? The UN recognizing this, it just sounds political, and it doesn't sound like it'll actually do anything. So, I don't get it. There's a comment right here by Zombie. I get salty about presidents or their wives being divorced shows bad judgment. Is Joe Biden divorced? I mean, just read her Twitter handle. It's Dr. Biden, which is so funny. It just cracks me up thinking about that. But, another news over there. Anti-genocide protesters pelt Israeli embassy in Mexico with Molotov cocktails. I didn't know Israel had an embassy in Mexico. But as protests in support of Palestinians swell against the globe, Israel's Western backers say they have no evidence to end military collaboration. I mean, look at these. Sure, it's a journalist. It's funny they're all wearing bike helmets and covering their faces up. I don't know why they wouldn't be brave of their choices. Here's a Twitter video. We got a couple of these things going on. Don't know how much of this we can play. I don't know if I can mute that. But I mean, here's just more proof that they're doing that kind of stuff. I thought it would have embedded it in here, but obviously it's heating up, and this is in Paris. That's funny. That's so funny. I mean, maybe that's why these EU nations are pushing a little bit more to make Palestine a state. They're like, oh, okay, guys, we'll do what we can on our end, even though it doesn't do anything, obviously, because they would obviously have to do military action against Israel to like actually have anything that they want. But instead, they're like, oh, we'll just recognize Palestine as a state. But it's like, what does that even mean? What does it even look like? Does that do anything? Does that actually do anything? Or are you guys just writing on pieces of paper, just recognizing something? But I think it's just to keep tensions low in their countries. I think is all that they're doing. Like, they're too small to not want to like save face and keep people relaxed. So at least that's what it looks like. What it looks like is going on. So, a little bit more Joe Biden news. Saw that somebody dressed as Elmo was on the stage. I think it's funny that almost all these kids at this school can't vote, and instead they like it's just weird to think like getting youth support for a candidate doesn't even like jive. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Oh, I thought that Elmo had direct support for Joe Biden, and I was gonna laugh super hard. But it's a weird, like, people talking about either, I don't know if they've talked recently about like either lowering the voting age or changing the voting age, and then what that looks like, and then how that then translates into their messaging, obviously, because like all these kids obviously can't vote. I mean, their parents can vote, but I don't know what that then looks like. It just sounds like a weird, like, look, here's Joe Biden. He's our guy. He's here to support your guys' school. It says right here, Joe Biden, quote unquote, "you ain't black" Biden is making up a pitch to black voters in Philadelphia this afternoon and announced a Black Voters for Biden and Harris initiative. Ahead of the event, the Biden campaign accused Donald Trump of, quote unquote, running on an anti-black agenda. It can be recalled that racist Joe Biden was close with, oh my, Cyclops Robert Byrd, and even attended his funeral. And don't forget about Joe Biden's famous 1993 speech that he called black people predators. Great. That's great. And then obviously he wanted to then claim that the "you ain't black" quote was a joke. But if you look at the full clip, it didn't really look like that, especially, I mean, it just goes from the like two-sidedness to where it's like, oh, we care about this, then we don't care about this, and then if we say it in a certain way, then then it's fine, but if we say it another way, then it's it's wrong and it's bad. It's just one of those things where it's like, if the shoe were on the other foot, and if you put other words into this phrase, then it's seen as bad and evil. But then if you obviously if you just put other words and it's fine, but well, I don't. Yeah, like they brought like a bootleg Elmo to like dance and join a band. Like not Elmo himself, but like somebody like in a mascot suit, which isn't how Elmo is like almost he's never portrayed in any other sense except like as a puppet, like on like a stage or whatever. So, I don't get it. I don't get it. See, now this is staying at a college. So, I don't know if it's both. No idea. No idea. Yeah, back to whenever his brain still worked. I mean, they wanted to point to him having a stutter even back in like the 90s, but obviously what he has now isn't a stutter unless stutters evolve, which I wasn't even sure about that happening. Um, yeah, we could use some secret servers. I was watching Alex Stein's show a little bit before we were going live, and they went over this clip too. And I already had it loaded up. I didn't think that they would also talk about it, but I just this clip is just so funny. I'm just gonna.
Court calls case People versus Corey Harris.
On behalf of Pittsfield Township.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Tate for Mr. Harris, who should be present via Zoom.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
Great. You stationary?
I'm pulling in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
All right. What are we doing?
Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting an adjournment in this matter, up possibly 2 to 4 weeks if the court would allow.
Okay. So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended,
That is correct, Your Honor.
and he was just driving, and he didn't have a license.
Is with the charges, Your Honor, yes.
No, I'm looking at his
Yes.
record. He doesn't have a license. He's suspended and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Hello?
1 minute, Mr. Harris.
I don't even know why he would do that. So defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Harris, I'll be giving you a call.
Okay.
Court calls the case People versus Maya Isom.
Cameron Silver on behalf of Pittsfield Township.
That was rich. It's beautiful. I mean, he could have just been in his car not moving, and the judge couldn't have said anything. But the fact that he was still driving while he picked up is just so funny. and it was almost like he forgot. But on top of that as well, it sounded like he had an attorney or a public, um, I don't know, like public attorney or whatever. Right, like there's so many things that he could have said, but instead he was driving and he was playing dumb while he was still parking, which was so funny. To where he was like, hold on, give me 1 minute, give me 1 minute," and it was like, dude, you're already caught, and it sounded like that he already was in trouble for that, but it sounded like it was bad enough that he had to turn himself into jail. So I don't know if any of these comments are going to be anything funny, but well, people think they can get away with this is so funny. I mean, it's just like if you're gonna do something illegal, obviously don't film yourself doing it, and obviously don't have a camera on yourself while you're in front of a judge about the very thing that you're in trouble with. So that's cute. That's funny. That's very funny. Um. Well, we are getting towards the end of the show. Unless you guys have anything else that you guys want to add. I was on Crown Extreme last night and talking with Giovanni, the current host of the Watch Frogs, and we were discussing like media and all that stuff as well. Thought I'd clear my name up a little bit and bring up some anti-Star Wars sentiments. So thought I'd read some quotes. Thought I'd have some giggles. Um, One of the things that I'd immediately like to point out with the current Star Wars or I don't know about fan service, but just things going on in the Star Wars universe is that this quote right here says Kathleen Kennedy says, quote unquote, "I think a lot of women who step into Star Wars struggle with toxic fandom attacks a bit more. Because of the fan base being so male dominated, they sometimes get attacked in ways that can be seen quite personal. Operating within these great franchises now with social media and level of expectation, it's terrifying." And then it shows some pictures of very powerful and prominent Star Wars figures. But I mean, one of the first things that came to my mind, at least, was the double standard is so rich, because if you look at the strong male characters that have been portrayed in Star Wars, especially in the last 3 movies, they almost don't exist. So I thought that was kind of funny. Almost all of them die within their respected little arcs within the movies or whatever. But I just the it's terrifying part is so funny, because it's like, well, people don't like these characters for a reason, and if you don't want to have those conversations about why, then it's kind of on you. But here's a video of George Lucas.
Women in the movies. I said, who do you think the heroes are in those films? What do you think Princess Leia was? She is the head of the rebellion. She's the one that's taking this young kid that doesn't know anything on this boisterous, I know everything guy who can't do anything, trying to save the rebellion with these clowns. She's the hero of the movie. And it's the same thing with Queen Amidala. Even though she has Jedi on her side, she was still the hero prime mover. You can't just put a woman in pants and expect her to be a hero. They can wear dresses, they can wear whatever they want. It's their brains and their ability to think and plan and be logistical. That's what the hero is. He said, there's no...
Thankfully, it cut out right before that reaction frame. Saved us from that. I mean, yeah, like the whole double standard of like women in media only recently having positions of power or authority, or they're badass or whatever. Like it's a bunch of crap. Obviously. I mean, you have the very guy that wrote especially the first 3 movies, talking about it, to where it's like, yeah, I wrote strong female characters 40, almost 50 years ago now, and now we have all these other new characters that you can't remember the name of them, you can't even remember what they did in the movies, and instead they want to push and make them a big deal. And it's like, well, why don't you guys just make strong, compelling characters? And they just so happen to be female. Oh no, we can't do that. We can't do that. All right. All right. It just speaks to the writing abilities that they have. So, I found this clip of some guys talking shit about Mr. Beast that I thought was kind of funny. A little bit dumb, but a little bit funny at the same time.
YouTube and shit on Mr. Beast because Mr. Beast is a loser. Because you gotta think, I'm not a hater, but you gotta think, me and Mr. Beast would text each other a month before my YouTube got deleted.
Oh,
I would
he
send,
had
I would
a
send him,
connect.
I would send him titles and stuff, and he'd be like, "Yo, this is good, that," and then my YouTube gets deleted, and he just ghosts me.
Oh.
You gotta think about this. If he actually cared about helping people, like on God,
damn.
If he actually cared about helping people, period, he would help the one YouTuber that he would communicate with that gives away all his money on YouTube. He would at least respond, but no, ghosted. The guy's a loser. He's a fake nice person.
That's crazy.
And on God, I mean, this is my personal opinion, and
that shit
I'm
must have
wrong.
hurt.
Damn.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
No, I just don't think that. I think.
I love the guy on the right side. Almost had nothing to say except for "damn," and I don't know, but I mean, you know, hearing that kind of stuff, obviously, don't always know what to say, but it's pretty great. It's pretty great. I saw this funny little meme right here of two Undertale characters talking about a very, very topical subject. So I thought it was funny. For the people at home, there's a character, I can't remember their name, but that says a human fetus isn't a human being, and then the other character asking, explain what species they are then. And the person, you know, there's not a third panel, but if there was a third panel, it'd be them just being wrecked, obviously, just blown to pieces. You know, their brains hopefully changed, less smooth than before. But AC writes, probably trying to devalue the brand to do a tax write-off. I mean, maybe that's what I do. That's what they do sometimes, but I thought that they just make projects and then write them off. But I don't know. I don't know why they're doing this to themselves at this point, because they've even been self-aware. Even the marketing in like the new Deadpool movie, which I have seen in the way that they're hyping it up, all that, they're like, oh, it'll be saving Marvel. It'll be saving Marvel. And I'm not holding my breath about it. I do look forward to Hugh Jackman reprising his role after he said he'd retire after Logan. But I mean, who knows? Who knows? Marvel's been losing money since well, I mean, I think Sony technically made all the money off of the Spider-Man, so wasn't even technically Disney Marvel's project to stake claim on. But in super tragic news, 8 years ago today, Harambe left this planet. He went to Mars. So he's planning his great comeback one day. That's what the influx of UFOs actually means. So, but the timeline on Harambe's passing and then the current devolving of the state of affairs is quite funny though. Exactly. Bananas in chat. I saw this.
Southern flights prove.
I saw this video to wreck all the globetards in chat. So.
Southern flights prove that the Earth is not a ball. This is the World Cup soccer. Oh. Okay? They were in Doha. They wanted to go back to Buenos Aires. They went to Rome to refuel, and then they went back there. Why didn't they just go here? Because if they did, there's no place to refuel out here. On a flat Earth, Doha, Rome, Buenos Aires. Taiwan to Los Angeles. They had an emergency right about here. Well, where would you land? Well, you could go to Hawaii. I might as well go to Los Angeles. Instead, they went all the way to Alaska. Okay?
Flat Earth.
Right? Flat Earth, Taiwan, Alaska, Los Angeles. Okay. So here's an emergency. They were going from New York to Hawaii, right about here, and they said we have to land. So they went to Seattle, which is like 1,000 miles out of the way. They got there in record time. New York, Seattle, Hawaii. Southern flights prove.
Yeah, get wrecked, guys. Get wrecked. I'm just speechless right now. Get wrecked. Moment of silence for all the globetards in chat. Anyway, there was a New Jersey town that closed their boardwalk and declares a state of emergency after mass fighting on Memorial Day weekend. Wildwood would not tolerate unruly, undisciplined, unparented children, nor will we stand by while the laws of the state tie the hands of the police. Let's hear the beautiful audio. I swear nobody played monkey noises over that, even though it looked like a Planet of the Apes scene. That was entirely the audio that was pulled from that footage, as far as I can tell. So, again, the jokes write themselves. But I love this little one of the little headline here. It's not a climate emergency; it's a mental health crisis. And let's see if there's an audio. I think it's just people just sitting here, just dressed in a beautiful professional garb. What do people expect to happen dressed like this? Do you want me to look at you and feel bad? Because, I mean, you look ridiculous. I don't know if I can take anything you have to say serious after looking at this and thinking, oh yeah, no, whatever message you might have to promote, whatever, I'll take it serious. Like, no. What? What the frickin' poop? I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know this is kind of a little bit of a shorter show, but I'm thinking of hopping and playing some Animal Well. If you guys want to stick around for that, I will be firing up another stream. I'll shut this one down and then I'll just fire up a scheduled one. I'll probably get something to eat before I hop on and play. But you guys are more than welcome to hang out and chat. I don't know if I don't think anything else big is going on tonight. So eat well. Oh yeah. I mean, if you guys want, I'll do an ASMR for you guys. I don't really have the mic set up for it, so I'm gonna have to like. I think if I turn off some settings, I might be able to. Probably a chicken salad. Yeah, I might. Yeah, I don't want you guys listening on that. I mean, I did accidentally have a stream going after I closed the other one out, but I was just like watching something. So that's all that was heard. But I'm sure you could look up chicken salad ASMR. But I don't think there's anything else really big going on in the world. I can like double, triple check, see if there's anything else kind of worth talking about, but I doubt it. I doubt it. So, which I mean, you know, kind of sucks, but we'll survive. What's wrong with chicken salad? Ooh. Here's a little chunk, actually. Top Biden aides signal openness to letting Ukraine strike Russia with U.S. weapons. So, that's cute. But, I don't think there's a lot else, honestly, though. So, if you guys want to hop around and, or hop on later on and have a good time, then I'll be here. So, I'm going to keep trying to get better at that animal well game. But you guys have a wonderful night. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.